Moving on, U.S. Navy is repositioning its forces amid the ongoing conflict in West Asia. The USS George Washington has arrived in the Arabian Sea, replacing the USS Abraham Lincoln, which is heading home after more than 250 days at sea. The USS Gerald R. Ford also left the region earlier this year, with 2 U.S. warships withdrawn and a new one deployed to West Asia. Questions are now being raised over whether the U.S. Navy is facing a strategic setback in the region. Now, according to U.S. Central Command, the George Washington's arrival is part of a scheduled deployment. Its arrival comes after growing concerns over the conditions aboard the Lincoln, which has been at sea for an unusually long period. With the Lincoln now heading home, the U.S. will be left without an aircraft carrier in the Western Pacific. The move comes even as Washington continues to describe the Indo-Pacific as a major strategic priority. The Lincoln spent longer at sea without a port visit than any U.S. Navy aircraft carrier before it. The long deployment has also brought growing concerns over life on board. Reports have described shortages of food and hygiene supplies, as well as maintenance problems caused by the extended time at sea. Now, the pressure has not been limited to the ship itself. Families of some roughly 5,000 sailors and Marines aboard have spoken about the mental toll of the mission. Adding to the concerns was the USS Gerald R. Ford, also leaving the region earlier this year. And this has prompted questions over whether the U.S. Navy is reducing its presence in West Asia. At the same time, Washington remains focused on keeping the strategically vital Strait of Hormuz open. The waterway is vital to global trade and has remained a key point of tension with Iran. Although fighting is recently paused, Iran has continued to assert its influence over the strait. Now, the latest naval movement comes as the United States increases economic pressure on Iran, tightening economic sanctions. U.S. Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent echoed Trump's warning and urged China to join the campaign. He warned that the U.S. will target countries and companies that continue to buy Iranian oil, transfer money or conduct business with Tehran. Listen to this.
We are confident that everyone wants the strait reopened and for energy prices to come back down. And sir, keep in mind that the Chinese get 50%, 50, the other energy from inside, from the Gulf. So it would do them a big service to get with the program.
Iranian Foreign Minister Abbas Araghchi rejected the U.S. threats, calling the campaign economic terrorism. He accused U.S. of threatening the global economy and using its economic pressure campaign to divert attention from rising U.S. debt and interest costs. We earlier spoke to Akim Bitterlich from Paris. He's a former European diplomatic and security advisor to German Chancellor Helmut Kohl and former German ambassador to NATO. And this is what he had to share with us. Let's listen in.
It's a political setback, if you want, because the Americans have understood militarily they have not got the Iran where they wanted to get the Iranians. It's a real failure of the US insofar. And if you look at this, please understand the Americans have been trying, seduced by Israel at the end of the day, to get a regime change in Iran, in Tehran. No success. And the Iranians have discovered the Strait of Hormuz. And therefore, militarily, finally, it's impossible, let's say, to overcome that situation. Therefore, the Americans stick to economic sanctions. And under these conditions, well, you may reduce your naval forces.